Welcome back to Fighting Words. I'm Carissa Maxwell, joined as always by senior combat writer Andreas Hale and senior combat editor Tom Gray. There is a new champion at 140 pounds, and his name is Teofimo Lopez. After a stunning unanimous decision victory over Josh Taylor on Saturday night at the Hulu Arena, Teofimo Lopez is back. And it's weird to say he's back because some of us never thought he went anywhere, but there was a lot of question as to whether or not he was just a one-hit wonder after his insane victory over Lomachenko, followed by a loss to Kambosos Jr. So now that he has the WBO and the ring title belt back around his waist, is it true that Teofimo Lopez is back? Because he had no problem shouting that from the ring on Saturday night after he claimed that victory.
Andreas, I'll let you go first.
Oh, the I told you so? Oh, yeah? Yeah. I think I picked this correctly. Aside from the knockout, you went too far with the knockout. Made me come along with the knockout too in predictions last week. Teofimo Lopez still has it. He lost it against George Kambosos, but now we can kind of look at those COVID complications that could have been the reason why he had such an underwhelming performance. But against Josh Taylor, he looked phenomenal. He not only looked phenomenal, he dominated that fight from bell to bell. Those two 115-113 scorecards were absolutely ridiculous, but it is what it is. We have a new champion at 140. We have a lineal champion. We'll talk about his retirement, I'm sure, in a little bit, but he's the man. He is the man. He deserves all the accolades. He deserves everything that we said about him years ago. He's no longer a one-hit wonder. He did everything he was supposed to do and looked spectacular in doing it. So the question is, does he still have it? Right, he still has it.
Yes, I agree with Andreas, and I bow to his superior prediction through the week. It was a great call by the big man. I thought it was actually competitive across the first half, and I thought Lopez pulled away in the second half. I had it 116-112 for Lopez, which is right in the middle of the official scorecards. Brilliant game plan, kept his movement up, a lot of feints. He prevented Taylor from executing big prolonged bursts and limited his activity. Josh likes to let his hands go in fights and build up command and leads. If you look at the punch stats, Lopez outlanded him, outpunched him across the fight, which is very unusual for an opponent to outpunch or outland Josh Taylor. So it was an absolutely brilliant game plan. You know, a lot of us looked at Lopez's behaviour outside the ring, things that he'd said, you know, his past form. And I did say, you know, if he came into this fight with his tail up, which he obviously did, you would see a completely different fighter from what you've seen over the last 2 years. And he did the business. It was a brilliant performance. He's back in the pound-for-pound list. Great stuff.
Speaking of pound-for-pound list, where are we putting Teofimo Lopez on that list? Because right now he can say that he is the king of the junior welterweight division, but as we know, there's a lot of talent in that division. So where is he on that list, and who does he have to fear most out of the other contenders in that division?
Well, pound-for-pound, he went in at number 8, which, you know, Josh was sitting at number 10. He's fallen off the list. And it was, you know, we did a democratic vote and Lopez has went in at number 8, which is a great position when you've essentially came back in after having been out of the list. In terms of does he replace Ryan Garcia, to quote Andreas, hell yeah, he does, because he's got a win over Vasily Lomachenko in 2020 and he's just displaced Josh Taylor and handed Josh his first professional defeat, picked up the WBO Ring Magazine lineal titles. Ryan Garcia has really just been realistic, done nothing like that yet in his career. Who does he need to fear? You know, he's in a division that's talent-packed. Even though Tank Davis doesn't fight a lot at 140, he's, you know, a severe threat. Devin Haney is a severe threat. You know, any of these guys, you know, at 140 at the top, at the upper echelons of that division are a severe threat to him. But he just proved how good he is. He just proved that he is elite level. So he is a threat to any of these guys. You know, they need to be looking out for him as much as he's looking out for them.
Yeah, for starters, I think, on the pound for pound list, I know Tom just said he's at number 8, but I could put him as high as number 7. I could actually put him ahead of Devin Haney because he looked better beating Lomachenko than Haney did. And then he also beat another pound for pound guy in Josh Taylor. Now, you can make the argument either way, and you could tie them if you really want to, but they're like neck and neck when it comes to pound for pound. That being said, yes, he's the king of 140 pounds. Does he displace Ryan Garcia when it comes to this new generation of fighters? Absolutely. But he might actually be the king of the new fighters because, again, he's beaten 2 pound for pound fighters in his career already. Devin hasn't done that. Shakur hasn't done that. Tank hasn't done that. I think he can make the case that he's the best of the next generation despite having a loss on his record. He's accomplished things that the other fighters have not. Granted, Gervonta Davis may be the new face of boxing, but that doesn't matter because he doesn't hold the world titles that Teofimo had. He's a lineal champion at 140 pounds right now. Who does he have to worry about? I don't think Tank is going to fight him anytime soon unless it makes financial sense, and that's coming from Leonard Ellerby and PBC. They still kind of protect Gervonta from some of these fights to make sure they're getting the most bang for their buck. So the fight that is most realistic is probably Devin Haney, but Devin's got Shakur chasing him at parties now, talking about signing the contract. So Devin's got his own issues to deal with. So if it's Teofimo, and again, I know we're going to talk about this retirement thing, but if he stays at 140, does he just go out and collect the other belts? Regis Prograis hanging around right now with a WBC title. That's a fascinating fight to me. Rolly Romero, who nobody thinks should be a champion at all at 140 pounds, has a world title. Teofimo could do that fight, beat the brakes off of Rolly Romero, and then be an unified champion at 140 pounds. I don't think they need to worry about – Teo doesn't have to worry about anybody. They need to worry about him.
Can I just add that Subreal Mateus deserves a big fight as well? He's unbeaten, class act, and he's also a world champion in that weight class.
Absolutely.
Well, like these other guys in his division, and it does come with these younger fighters, Teofimo Lopez, he has the fan base too. I mean, that was a wild, sold-out crowd at the Hulu Arena. There were fans running up and down the aisles with Honduras flags draped around them. There were people there in kilts too, for you, Tom, for Josh Taylor. But there was a very energetic and excited crowd there who want to see Teofimo Lopez fight and win. However, at 25 years old, Teofimo Lopez did not hesitate to announce his retirement post-win. And then he also, posted on Instagram that he is retiring, and he has said multiple times on ESPN since then that he is in fact retiring. Now, we talked last week about Teofimo Lopez's mental health and some of the things that he said that have been questionable, some of his actions, and that might be a factor. And on ESPN, he gave a very vague answer as to why he is retiring. And it was something along the lines of he has a lot of ideas for boxing and a lot of big things he wants to do, but he can't be in the ring to do them. But at the end of the day, we all know money talks. And if the right fight comes around with the right opponent, we could see him back in the ring. And he even said on ESPN that it would have to be a 9-figure deal. So are we really putting a lot of weight behind this retirement coming from a 25-year-old two-time champion who just won 2 belts?
Well,
in a very heavy division.
Yeah, here's a way to look at it. Ring Magazine won't be long before they ask him, are you retired? Because if you are, the belt falls vacant. The WBO will probably ask him the same thing. If you are persistently saying you're retiring, the Ring Magazine and that governing body are going to ask what's going on. So if he dumps the belts which give him bargaining, power, then I would take it more seriously. My bet is, and I would think Andreas will agree with me here, that he won't. I think that he was complaining immediately after the Josh Taylor fight, saying that he only made $1 million, and he appeared aghast by that. So I think by announcing your retirement or feigning that you're going to retire is sort of like a bargaining chip. So these other fighters, promoters, etc., come after him and say, Teo, come on out to play. By the way, here's $4 million. Here's $5 million. Do I believe that I'm not going to see Teofimo Lopez fight again? No, I don't believe it.
Yeah, dude. Once upon a time, Conor McGregor said, thanks for the cheese, I'm retiring. That fool still ain't retired. Retirements at a young age are just, they're nonsense. They're leveraging tools. That's all it is, once you say retirement, us, like everybody else, we start writing about it. Oh, he's retired. Even if we don't believe it, it's a story. And Teo making $1 million, to him, that's a crime when you look at what Ryan and Tank made in their last fights. So it's leveraging. He wants to make more money. He doesn't want to retire because what's he going to do? Let's be honest, Teofimo Lopez. What are you going to do in boxing without boxing? You're 25, dude. You got so much time left in your career to show people that you're one of the best in the world. Leaving the sport now is absolutely ridiculous. But leaving the sport to get paid, I get it. I understand the mentality here. I don't think it has anything to do with mental health. I think he's playing with everybody right now. And he wants a break, but he also wants attention. So you can kind of get both. Hey, you know who else retired recently? Tyson Fury. Look at that guy. Look how retired he is these days. Retirement's a nonsense. Nobody retires under the age of 30. It's absolutely ridiculous. We'll see him back in the boxing ring. And we'll see him try to go after one of these belts. He likes world championships, but he likes money more. So he just wants to make more money.
Come back next week for Fighting Words, where we will be breaking down the 25 under 25 list. That will be published on Sporting News at the end of this week, I think, beginning of next week. Who knows? It's a mystery. Have your notifications on. We have a newsletter. Sign up for the Fight Club newsletter and you'll be the first to know. But until then, I'm Carissa Maxwell. For Tom Gray and Andreas Hale, we will see you next week here on Fighting Words.